Hey everybody, this is Norman Woods and I'm going to teach you how to do a tail slide today. Before I talk about tail slides, let's talk about this shirt. This is Collage Skateboards, my brand, and it's our new Belushi graphic. You can get it at www.collagesskateboards.com, so check it out. And I really appreciate everyone who picked one up. We have medium, large, and extra large right now. No small, but we'll have smalls in soon. All right, tail slides. Before you try a tail slide, you should definitely be able to ollie. You should also be able to do a nose slide. I've done videos on ollies and nose slides. I'll leave links in the description. You should also be able to do a frontside 180. I haven't done a video on frontside 180s, but if you'd like me to make a frontside 180 video, comment below and I'll be sure to make one. All right, you can ollie, you can nose slide, you can frontside 180. So the first hurdle to get over is being able to shift your weight and land with your tail over the curb, because everybody's going to learn this trick on a curb. The way that I conquered this, and this is going to change everything for you right now, I rolled straight at the ledge and I would frontside 180, and I learned how to catch my tail on the curb from a frontside 180. So you're going to start off pretty slow. You're going to roll directly at your ledge, not parallel to it at all. You're going to do a full frontside 180, and you'll have to learn the timing of frontside 180 and catching your tail on the curb. Then you want to be able to sit there for about a second and then come off of the curb. Once you can do this pretty consistently, this is when I want you to start to change your angle, right? So initially, this is the ledge or curb. This is you. You're rolling straight. You got to turn 180 degrees, right? Once you mastered that, I want you to bring your angle down just a little bit so that instead of 180, maybe you're doing a 120 degree turn, and so on and so forth until you're able to be almost parallel to the curb that you're popping onto. Once you got all this down, now it's time to learn how to slide. And if you watch my nose slide video, you should have kind of an idea of how sliding ledge tricks works. So you want to start off, let's go over your stance. You want to start off with your back foot in the ollie box, right? I've talked about it in most of my videos. It's a very important thing to know. Your weight's going to be over your toes on the back foot. Your front foot is going to be in the center of the board or just an inch below the bolts, no farther up than that. And you want your entire front foot to be across the board, but you still want your weight to be on your toes. It's important to keep our weight on our toes because that's where all the action happens. If your heel's resting on the board for tricks other than heel flip tricks, it's not really gonna work. So, weight's over our toes on the back foot, also on the front foot. Our heels are coming off the board on the back foot. Our shoulders are parallel to our board. And what we're gonna do before we pop, you know it, we're gonna wind in the opposite direction that we're trying to turn. I'm goofy footed, so I'm gonna turn this way. You're regular footed, it's gonna be the opposite, right? Now, after I've turned the opposite direction, I'm gonna crouch. And as I'm crouching, I'm gonna start to spin my shoulders back. And when I'm halfway back to my shoulders being parallel over the board, that's when I pop. Because we want the momentum that we're creating with our shoulders to transfer down to our waist and into our legs and into our board. And by the time our shoulders are parallel with the board, that's when we want our tail to be over the curb and then eventually the ledge. Once you lock onto the ledge or curb, it's going to be a curb at first, you want your weight to still be on the toes of your back foot and you want your heels to be off of the tail. And this is important because when you're trying long slides later on, a little hack, and I know you've heard it. You've heard someone sliding a really long tail slide or even a nose slide, and you've heard that squeaking sound. It sounds like basketball shoes on a basketball court. That's because you're using your heel to help yourself balance and to kind of control your speed while you're sliding. In the beginning, you won't have to do this because you won't slide very far, but this will come in handy later. So you've gotten onto the ledge, your weight is over your toes. You want to then center your weight between your legs, and you want to land in a position that's like you're sitting on a bicycle. So that means you want your legs crouched, you want your arms up in front of you. Keeping your arms up is very important because when your arms are at your side, this is what I tell my students when I do my private lessons. Hit the link that I'll leave to email me if you're interested in that, by the way. When your arms are at your side, you're like a bowling pin, and bowling pins are made to be knocked down, right? We don't want to be knocked down, so we keep our arms up. It's important. So you've landed with your tail on the ledge or curb. Your shoulders are now parallel with your board, and you're in that bicycle position. You're going to engage the muscles in your core, your biceps, and your quads to help you hold still, because sliding is largely about holding still. You're going to make sure that your upper body isn't leaning too much in one direction. You want your back to be relatively straight. It's impossible to be completely straight because we're humans and we don't have that fine of control, but you want to remain as straight as possible while you're sliding. And then when it's time to come off, the first way that you're going to come off, just like I said in my no slide video, is that you're just going to turn off. So your shoulders are parallel with your board, your arms are up. When it's time to come off, you're going to turn your shoulders back to the position they were in before you popped onto the curb or ledge. And then you're going to allow your legs to follow. And then once you feel your wheels hit the ground, you're just going to crouch to absorb the impact. Because even when you're coming off of a curb, there's going to be impact. And when you first start doing this, the curb will feel like significant impact. Once you get the muscle memory down, it won't feel so bad to come off of a curb. And when you move up to ledges, high ledges, hubbas, rails, that's all the same. It's going to feel like significant impact until you're well versed in doing this and it doesn't. And that's how you do your tail slide. So let me recap. You're going to start off by doing that frontside 180, going pretty slow and learning how to catch your tail on the curb or ledge. You're going to start to come at a smaller angle than 180 degrees, the better you get at each step of the way. Once you're able to roll parallel, you're going to follow the typical stance. Back foot, weight is over the toes, heels are basically coming off the board. Your foot's in the ollie box. I've talked about the ollie box before. Front foot, the entire foot is over the board, but most of your weight is on your toes still. You are going to wind your shoulders in the opposite direction that you're planning to turn. You're going to start to crouch, and as you're crouching, you're going to wind your shoulders back towards the ledge. Once your shoulders are halfway back, you're going to pop. As you're sucking your knees up to your chest with your pop, you're going to be turning your shoulders so that they become parallel with your board again. And you want the timing to be that once you catch your tail on the curb or ledge, your shoulders are parallel with your board. Upon which time you're going to make sure that your weight is still over your toes on the back foot, and you're going to shift it in between your legs so that you're very balanced. You're going to sit like you're on a bicycle with your arms up and your knees bent, and you're going to allow yourself to slide. Now, you got to have wax on your curb or ledge to slide. That's a given, but I just thought I'd mention it here. When you're ready to dismount, you're going to turn your shoulders back to the direction that they were in before you popped onto the curb or ledge. Allow your lower half to follow and absorb the impact. Now, once you got this method down, you're going to want to pop out. And I talked about this in my nose slide video, but it's actually easier to pop out of a tail slide because it's an ollie as opposed to a switch ollie or nollie. So all you're going to do to practice this is you're going to put your board on a ledge in tail slide position. Then you're going to get on top of it and you're going to engage your core and everything so that you can stay still on top of the ledge. You're going to allow your board to drop a bit, and then you're just going to ollie off of the ledge just like any other ollie. And once you get comfortable doing this, then you're going to start to turn so that you can go back to forward. And once you're comfortable doing that, you're going to do tail slides and practice popping out. It's going to take you some time. It's going to feel awkward, and the impact is going to be abnormal at first. But once you got it down, this is a pretty good trick to get down fast and be comfortable with. And once you get it down, it's so much fun. Like doing tail slides for a really long slide and just popping out or popping out to fakie, popping a kickflip out, a big spin out, some of my favorite tricks. And yeah, that's how you do a frontside tail slide. Hit the like button if this video helped you out. Comment, subscribe, and yeah, check out my Patreon. Check out these collage skateboards, Belushi shirts. We got some skateboard deck graphics coming soon as well. Follow me on Instagram. Follow Collage on Instagram. Thank you guys for watching.